Rick Florino from ArtistDirect.com, causing all kinds of trouble in Las Vegas with the cast of The Hangover.
So what were you saying? This is what?
It's my favorite movie all year.
Say it again.
This is my favorite movie
Can you
of
say it
2009.
louder?
The Hangover is my favorite movie of 2009.
What movie did you like better in 2008?
Nothing.
So what is The Hangover?
Best movie ever.
Done!
So
we got a quote on the poster. You made it.
And she's the sweetest element in the whole movie too. You know, like you bring like a lot of levity to it,
that's sweet.
otherwise these guys are just totally like debauched.
That's hilarious.
So, is Vegas the best way for a group of guys to take their friendship to the next level?
That or Zach's house.
Yeah, that or climbing Mount Everest.
Was it tough to get into the character, like especially with the tattoo on the face and everything? How did that work out?
Yeah, it was about 3 hours in the morning to get transformed with all the prosthetic makeup.
Was this world a place that you'd want to come back to again, like the whole experience?
Absolutely.
Would you say the film's more about Ronnie trying to become a cop or becoming a man?
I think it's about Ronnie trying to be viewed by the world the way that he views himself.
What about Detective Harrison resonated with you when you first read the script?
I just thought it would be fun to be in this kind of movie.
What initially resonated with you about Brandy? Because she's such a fun, kind of crazy girl.
I think you're being really kind. Brandy is the worst character I've ever played.
Do you ever listen to any certain music to get into character or to act? Like, you know, do you ever find certain bands that will help you ease into the role?
Absolutely. It's an excellent question, actually, because music can be so powerful.
Do you think Donnie's the perfect Boston badass?
I think so. I mean, it had been I'm sure being from Boston the way you are, it must torture you the way it tortures me to see a bad accent in movies. Everybody in Boston has a bat in their car. I was like, you use it off the field. That's like someone honks you. It's like, what was that guy? You know, you pull out your bat. It's like, it's for traffic confrontations.
Well, and her introduction scene, too, in the bar is just, it's hilarious, but it's so dark at the same time.
Oh, so dark, and it was so exhausting to shoot. I mean, we shot that scene over 2 weeks.
Well, and there's a lot of layers, too. You know, I mean, there's a lot of conflicts with the adults and with the kids, too, and I think if you look at it closely, the kids' conflicts make more sense.
That's how they do. They're much simpler. It's just much more basic, exactly.
Yeah, you're a nerd. I'm going to throw a rock at you.
It's just clear cut.
I think you got Hannibal Lecter beat. But you do have the glare down. That's not fake. There it is.
It's not funny.
Were there any moments in the movie where you guys were like, this is just wrong?
Every moment.
It's always right.
There's a lot of great tunes in the movie. I was wondering, what's on your playlists?
Mine, Jay-Z, 50 Cent.
That brother's lying. He got Barbra Streisand,
Oh, yeah. I got
Julio
that. No,
Iglesias.
I don't have no Julio
He has the
Iglesias.
most eclectic iPod.
I got Jay-Z, 50 Cent. I do have Barbra Streisand.
Oh my
I got
God.
Stevie Wonder.
Rico! Ruin Florino wrote a book. He wants to help all you people break into this industry that we are sitting in right now. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Take it away, what the fuck?
Well, basically, the book is a guide for kids on how to get their foot in the door of the entertainment industry.
In the door, not up someone's ass.
Not up someone's ass, exactly.
You have to clarify.
Exactly.
Yes.
I want to make sure that it's clear so everybody
Yes,
knows.
very important.
Yeah, it's front entry, not rear.
Okay, good.
Rick, I think it's what you're saying is breaking down doors.
Yeah.
Like keep breaking down doors.
Exactly, and that was what I wanted to prove with the book is that, you know, look, I mean, I didn't know anything about this world. I had no connections to it, but I was willing to just immerse myself into it. And I wanted to show kids in this book that if you're willing to do that, it can happen. If you want to start a magazine, just go do it. Do it. And you'll have it. That was it. That's where the ruin came from in my name. And
Yes, that would be Ruin Magazine right there.
That was it right there.
You too can brand yourself. I believe that's chapter 12.
The show's
We're learning something today.
That's what it's for.
So, I came to LA and I realized, you know, that it wasn't that hard to get into this world if as long as I was willing to hustle.
That's great.
You know, I interned in New Line Cinema and I would stand on the roof like with my cell phone making ad calls, like trying to sell ads. I'd be like, you know, hi, my name's Rick. I have a magazine, and you know, do you guys want to buy some ads? I'd call like these labels like Metal Blade, or like, you know, like all these crazy metal labels. I'd be like, and everybody was like, we don't know who you are. You have a PDF and an ad rate sheet. We're not going to give you any money. So.
But don't you know who I am?
Exactly.
So chapter 1 to get into business, lie.
Exactly.
There you go, chapter 1, lie.
Who here wants to be a rock star someday? Everybody pretty much wants to be a rock star. No matter what, no matter where you are. I think that's the one thing that everybody wants someday. You know, regardless of whether or not you play music or, you know, you work in business or you're a lawyer, everybody wants to feel like a rock star at some point. So I think that there's a lot of different ways to do that. I think the best way, obviously, is with what you guys are doing, with playing music. And I started off playing guitar when I was like 15, and I still think it's the best thing in the world. I loved music more than anything, and I wanted to be a part of it. I worked for free for about 3 years, just writing on the side and working for different magazines and just really, really hustling. I started Ruin. I didn't make any money off of Ruin, but it didn't matter to me because I was so happy. I started calling every record label I could. Nobody knew who I was, and just like asking them for money to put into this magazine. And when you have to ask people for money, it's not fun. Like, as you can imagine, like, they don't really respond, especially if they have no clue who you are. But I had a dream to start this magazine. And I just kept going at it. I kept banging down the door, really, and I kept pushing. And I kept, you know, everybody that met me could see how passionate I was about starting a metal magazine and meeting all my favorite bands and writing about all my favorite bands and hanging out with them. So a lot of people started to help me, and eventually I ended up getting the money for the magazine. But, you know, we started from nothing, and it came out, it was in every hot topic in the country, and it was called Ruin. And in the first issue, we had Rob Zombie, we had Korn, we had a bunch of bands that I grew up idolizing, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And I ran that magazine for a year while I worked. I had a day job, too, because I didn't make any money off of it. So I think that what the book shows is that if you believe in this much, if you live, eat, sleep, and breathe it, and you're willing to go after it, and you're willing to never give up, that you can end up doing anything you want to do. You know, I don't know ultimately where it's all going to go. I don't ever want to pretend to either. I'm just glad that, you know, every time I set out to do something, I just go do it. You know, that's the most important thing. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you want to be a rock star someday, you all can do it. Just do it. We need more of them. We need more of them that can play. We need more of them that, you know, that know music and that love music. And that's the most important thing, I think, really. And that's what the book says.
The best way to start off in the music industry is to work for free.
Why?
Let's face it, no one in their right mind is going to turn down free work.
That's just reality.
Free work, aka an internship, is extremely easy to obtain in the industry.
Especially if you're a student looking for college credit.
Remember, the early bird gets the pick of those squiggly worms.
No, just run with it.
Take absolutely every opportunity you're given. We do that. We take every opportunity we're given.
Don't give up.
That's true.
And he says on page 72, starting, funding, and running your own business is a frightening thought. Everything rests on your shoulders, but come on. You're capable. You're highly capable, man. A lot of things I did in the industry to get into the industry 14 years prior to the next word that's coming out of my mouth is pretty much in that book, and it's pretty much how he did it. But he was more on the genius tip where it's his niche, you know? It's his niche to do what he's doing.
Don't be a hippie. You don't need to worry about wasting paper to make business cards. There are enough trees. Print out some business cards ASAP. You need them. It's important. If you don't believe us, watch the scene in American Psycho again. Those cards mean a lot. Professionally glossy business cards are cheap and easy to make.
And the nice thing is you can pick it up and like just turn to a page and learn something. It's not like you have to like read it through and through, you know. But you probably will read it in one shot because it's accessible. It's a fun read.
Hey, everybody, buy this new book. If you don't buy it, you're a but if you buy it, you're gonna learn some about heavy metal and how to work with the devil.
I have another book coming out in October, and it's called Dolor. And what it is it's a series of scary stories, actually. There's 10 different stories. The first one's called Lila. They're all illustrated, and it's going to come out in October, and it's really cool. Dolor is a collection of 10 different stories. They're all diaries, and each one is told from a different person's perspective. So it's not simply one story of this town. It's a living and breathing place. And the great thing for me about it is I got to get into the head of all these very, very idiosyncratic, crazy, intriguing, and
absolutely insane people. So Lila's free. It's going to be online. It's going to be a PDF. You can download it that day, give it all your friends, and we're making 1,000 copies that are going to be signed and numbered. And you can buy a copy through bookofdelore.com. There's going to be some other creative ways you can get them. And this is the start of something. This is the start of a whole chapter and a whole saga that I want people to come along on this hell ride with me.